Structure is the next aspect of the rubric that we're going to look at for qualitative measures. So under this section, we look at organization. So the more that it follows the traditional organization of that type of text, the lower the text complexity. So for example, in a narrative text, if it follows that beginning where the character, setting, and problem are introduced and then events lead to a climax and finally there's a resolution, that's going to be at that simpler end. If it goes beyond that or bends the rules of a genre, the higher the level of text complexity. Same thing with informational text. If it follows that typical structure of problem solution, cause effect, compare, contrast, whatever it is, where the main ideas are clearly coming out, the lower ends of the rubric it would fall. Whereas the more that it breaks out of that mold, the more complex that text is. The next aspect is narration. So you're really looking at who's the narrator or what's their perspective. What's the point of view of the text? So the more straightforward that is, the lower the text complexity. The more shifts in the narration or point of view or perspective, the more complex it is. If we look at text features, if there are lots of text features that support comprehension of the text, it's going to be at the lower ends of text complexity. Whereas if there are few headings or bold words that support that comprehension, then the higher level. And the same thing goes with visual supports. And we're not just talking about are there pictures or not pictures. We're really thinking about how those pictures support comprehension. So if they clearly support comprehension and they're clearly supporting the words, the lower the text complexity. Whereas if they're a picture on their own that's not supported by words, or perhaps it's not a very clear diagram or picture, the more complex it is.